What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at Bobby Firmino, the 86 rated cam, and personally I couldn't be more happy with him. He's got a scream card obviously, and I unfortunately didn't manage to go and get his review before he went out of packs, and personally right now I think he's probably not as relevant now because obviously a lot of people have him. I believe for some reason Footbin have messed up his price, unless, let me load it. Yeah, so 695k on the Xbox and 714 on the PlayStation for a 2 upgrade to the card. Obviously Firmino's an 86 centre forward. He's currently going for 74.5 on the Xbox and just shy of 70 on the PlayStation. And the increase that you get, which is I think is a bit cheeky, is you get 19 plus defending, which again it makes him quite a good CM, or at least a cam. You get a +3 on his pace, 2 on his shooting, passing, dribbling, and a 7 on his physical. So you get some nice stats. I think the defending is a bit of a cop out for him, as he is a centre forward now and then. So I don't believe why they needed to upgrade that so much, and I think that has made the price a hell of a lot more, because you obviously can play him as a CM and actually be relatively okay because he's got 84 shooting and 80 defending. But is he worth the extra 620k? That is something that we're going to be discussing in this video. As personally, I did use him as a draft, but personally think that draft is a little bit different, so I take it with a pinch of salt until I've used them actually in the game, in like foot chat, foot rivals, all of that good stuff. So looking at Bobby Firmino, he's a 4-star, which is always fantastic. He's 5'11", he's got a high work rate, and he is Brazilian in the BPL. So you've already got the meta league, you've already got a very meta nation this year. The Brazilian national team is looking fantastic this year. You've got some very nice OP and high rated players right there. So already you're making onto a winner. If you need any sort of objectives with Brazil, with BPL, he's already kind of the forefront for that. The 4-star is fantastic. I can't argue with that. Obviously 5 is always better, but 4 is always a nice backup right there. The work rate, personally I didn't notice the massive kind of loss in the high defensive work rate. Personally I had him on stay forward, so I didn't really notice him coming back too much. He does drop to kind of pick the ball up, and I think I like that because obviously his passing is relatively okay. And whilst I'm on the passing, 76 long passing, I personally didn't see that one bit. I thought he had a lot higher than that. He was making passes, he was making assists, left, right and centre, and I thought he was absolutely fine with passing. Even though it's only an 80 rated overall, he's got 86 short pass, which is nice, 86 vision, which again is pretty good, 80 curve. The passing's average. Obviously, you can add a Deadeye or at least a Catalyst onto him to make that little bit higher. 77 pace, which, to be honest, with a cam, I personally like him as a cam centre forward. I think he plays perfectly. I personally don't like him as a striker. Maybe the Scream Firmino might be better as a striker, but again, I still think I would much prefer him as that cam centre forward role, as his dribble is quite nice. I think it's very agile for a 5'11" player. He does manage to kind of weave in and out really decently, to be honest. Even with the drag back patch where they've made it that little bit slower, I still think he manages to kind of dribble his way around the players and really open up that space for your striker or wingers to get in and behind the defence, which is exactly what I'm using him for. Personally, cam wise, I've always struggled in every FIFA to find that major cam that's going to really blow everyone's mind. Last year I think I stuck with Team of the Season Ibra and Flashback Ibra for a lot of the game, and that was mainly just because I had the icons to bring him in. This year I'm struggling, and at the minute Firmino's definitely up there as probably my top 3 cams right now. Currently he is as my cam. I would happily use someone like Ericsson. I think he's on my next list to use instead of him. So be tuned for that one, because that one would be interesting to see the comparisons between very high rated cam centre forwards and see who I personally prefer. Dribbling wise anyway, 87 is the base stat. You've got 88 composure, ball control and dribbling, 86 reactions, 81 balance and 80 agility. So very nice stats throughout, all green on Footbin, which is always good. Shooting wise is 82 overall. You've got 85 finishing, 87 positioning and 81 shot power. Again, it's perfectly fine. Then we move over to the chem styles, because realistically, pace, Could do with a little bit of an upgrade if you really wanted. Personally, I think he can get away with it, most definitely. Shooting wise, if you're going for that cam that's going to have them long range shots, then most definitely will need an upgrade. Dribbling wise, I think you could leave it. I think you definitely could leave it. So that leaves me with a couple of chem styles to really go for. If you're okay with the pace and maybe you're playing more of a passing game, I would 100% recommend Deadeye. You'd get 92 shooting and 87 passing, taking him up to a 90 cam or a 90 centre forward. If you wanted to go all out pace and maybe still wanted him to have that kind of edge with the passing, you could go with Catalyst. Personally, that makes him into an 88 cam and an 87 centre forward. If you went for a Hunter, get his pace and shoot it up, you'd get an 86 cam and an 88 centre forward. And apart from that, that would probably be my best two. I would say either Deadeye or even potentially go for the Marksman if you really wanted. Or at the no, I wouldn't go with Hawk. I would say Deadeye is my first and Marksman is my second, both making him quite a very well-rounded centre forward cam and really adding that kind of balance to his gameplay. So we move over to why is this card one of my favourites. Well, personally, I love his agility. I think him and around the ball is very nice. Like you'll see a lot of the time, he's in there with that position. His positioning is absolutely outstanding. Every time he's always either on the edge of the box, he's kind of crawling around the box, looking for that opening, and you'll see it a hell of a lot of the time. You'll see it again here, I think, if the clips, you see it there. Luckily manages to get that goal. Personally, I don't know why the keeper didn't actually go for it. And again, you'll see going edge of the box, gets into the ball, gives it that little cheeky chip, going back from 2-0 down to 2-2. That is what this card brings for you. And I was actually finding that he was scoring a lot more than my strikers, which was actually quite worrying with my strikers, because you see it. He's absolutely clinical in front of goal. And personally, I'm not even trying with him in this, and that's what I like about these sort of reviews, where I've kind of let them unfold themselves. Really, I've played a couple of weeks with him. I've had a chance to really get to know this card and what this card's about, and goal scoring and being in that position is exactly what this card's all about. You'll see him holding on to the ball right there, managing to get that ball through, and again, we've managed to bring it back. Unfortunately, the defender for him has managed to pass it back to Firmino, making it an easy goal. But you see the kind of setup to start with, and that is game in, game out. His contributions throughout every single game in Weekend League is astonishing. It's every single game, he always does something. If it's not a goal, if it's an assist. If it's not an assist, it's a strong attack, which is something that you just can't buy. And for the price that you're paying, I think it's absolutely wonderful. You see here again, even poaching it, managing to kind of defy the odds with that goal. And I didn't realise until actually editing this entire video how many goals he actually scored for me, and it's quite worrying because I'm not using him as a striker, and I do think that is what a cam is all about. He's on about getting them assists, but also when it comes to it, getting them goals as well. And you'll see the striker starts to play there, he passes it to the wing, the camera's done the overlap on the striker into the middle of the box and has managed to finish it wonderfully. And that is exactly why I really rate this Firmino. Personally, if I was going for anyone better, I'd probably have to look out the league, because personally, cam-wise, I think the only cam that could potentially be better than him in the Prem is probably Eriksen. Mainly the people who are actually cams. Rather than putting Aguero as a cam or something along that, I'm looking at just mainly cams. Personally, I do think he's better than Ozil. I think he's better than a lot of the cams in this game. Probably David Silva as well, mainly because of the pace element. But I think Royce, Eriksen, and probably that's about it. I'm trying to think of any other cams that kind of come to mind right now, but personally I've probably missed someone. There's always someone I've missed, but Royce and Eriksen is the two that I know off the top of my head, and obviously disregarding icons, because personally I haven't played with many of them, if any. I think he's absolutely wonderful. I've given him a 9 out of 10 for value for coins. I think 74k for this card is absolutely fantastic. And I've given him also an 8 out of 10 for FUT Champs and an 8 out of 10 for the overall. I really do want to pick up the Scream card. I don't know whether I'll do the review on him unless you want me to. If you're still watching right now, let me know down below. It's going to be the question, would you like me to still do the Scream card and kind of compare these two and see if that extra 600k is actually worth your time? Let me know down below what you think about that. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Make sure you give it a massive like. I'm hoping we've hit 4k by now, but personally I think we're only about 10 or 5 away right now. So absolutely incredible. Make sure you do like and subscribe like I said, and I'll see you all for the next one.